Alright everybody, there we go. Hopefully this is getting the majority of this stuff in the shot. I figured this is what you all wanted to see. This is my RC collection, at least the majority of them. All of my scale trucks are sitting right here. And it's not the world's best RC collection, nothing like that. I'm not trying to win any prizes or outdo anybody. And I apologize for the slightly shaky camera there. But I just wanted to take a second and show you guys the collection, show you around the shop. Like I said earlier in the last video, where I showed my shop, I kind of just set it to music and just kind of walked around real quick. Well, this time I'm just going to talk about all these trucks. I'm going to set them out. And, well, maybe I won't. I'm not going to set them out. I'll just bring the camera up and I'll just show you each and every one of them, how they sit on my shelves. And, if you guys have any questions about them or anything like that, stuff I don't touch on, feel free to just, leave it in the comments and I'll try to respond. I don't always respond to comments, and it's not because I don't see them or I'm feeling like I'm too cool or anything like that. I just, honestly, I sometimes forget to respond for a while, and then I'll respond like a month later when I'm going back through everything. So please don't take it personal if I haven't responded to any of your comments or some of your comments. I'm doing my best, and if you have questions, please, like I said, feel free to post them up there. Alright, so let's get this started. I'll show you what I got going. Alright everybody, so the first one on the list is the Wraith. This is the one that I consider my rock bouncer. This is basically a stock Axial Wraith. There's nothing dramatic done to this. It is chopped up in the ass end extensively. I basically took most of it off back there. And I added the spare tire, just, it's real simple to do. Anyone can do that. It's got an aftermarket front link that I got all bent up from lots of abuse. It's got some aftermarket wheels on it. These are, I think, the Rock Stars with some green rings on them. Aftermarket tires, just some Super Swampers, and put a driver in there. This guy right here. I forget who he is, so I apologize for that. And the body panels on it, I'm sure some people are wondering about those. The hood is cut to open, but it is from the same panels as what's on the side. I just took a HPI Crawler King Jeep body and I chopped it up and used the panels from that. So that's how I got my Jeep hood. And the very top up there, that's just stock. I just painted it black. So there you have it. That is my Axial Wraith. And just for, shits and giggles or whatever, I'll show you how I do my hood. There it is, cracked open. And nope, there's no axial, or there's no back in this one yet. So yeah, and I just used some airplane hinges and cut them in triangle patterns, kinda. And that's how I do the hinge on the hood. It's beat up, it's got a lot of glue on it, and it's got a lot of mileage on it. And I love it, it just never breaks for some reason. Then we'll back up, switch over here. This is an old chassis. From the crawlers back in the day. I don't know who that, I think it's an Energy chassis or something like that. I've never actually used that. I got that off a buddy. Over here we have the, well, I can't call it an Axial. This is the Traxxas lathe. I guess that could make sense. I don't know. Basically all it is a slash 4x4, but I have done some cool modding on it. That's basically what I did on this one, was took a slash 4x4 and I narrowed the chassis, which was really easy to do. I literally just cut it narrow with my Dremel tool, and then I added some whatchamadiggits. Yeah, whatchamadiggits. That's a word everybody knows. I added some SCX-10 rock sliders. I added a cage from an Axial Wraith with the interior. And the same thing I did on my actual Wraith over there. I cut the hood off, and I will be attaching that with the airplane hinges. And it's got lockers from Toad's RC, I think is what it's called, or Toad's RC. So the front is actually locked up, the rear is locked up, and it's not janked. It's real lockers in there, steel lockers. And it's still got the stock Valenian, man. There's nothing special about this at all. It is beat to snot. It's got a lot of mileage on it too. It was a basher that we turned into, that I turned into this. And there you have it. Oh, and the body is the Proline Jeep body. And the wheels are the Proline beadlocks. That's really it, man. I was going to use this for an Ultra 4 buggy. I was going to swap out the rear end and try to make it a live axle and all that stuff, but Then everybody started doing the Rexos, and the XO came out, and so I was thinking about doing that, but I procrastinated. And then now the Yeti's coming out, so I've got no use for this other than just to bash with it now, and that's pretty much what I do. If you follow my Instagram or my Facebook, you probably saw my dog Debo chasing it around the other day. I have a lot of fun with it. The one right next to it, this is, oh, let's see if I can get this camera adjusted right. There we go. The one right next to it is a slash 4x4 as well. However, this one is not chopped up. It is still all stock original condition basically. It's got some aftermarket tires on it and wheels, and maybe some, yeah, it's got some aftermarket springs. It's got the RPM bumpers and mud flaps, and I got this new Proline body that I'm going to paint up. Shout out to Hemi Storm for that. I saw him do his body up, and I just loved that one he did. So I figure I better get one of these bodies before they disappear again, or before they disappear like most of the good bodies do. And I heard it's not that tough, but I really don't care. I don't bash all that much. I just want it to look cool. And so there you have it, slash 4x4. Now right next to that slash 4x4, I have a slash 2-wheel drive with the 17mm conversion, or a 17mm hub conversion. This I got off my buddy Lance. If you don't know who Lance is, he is a friend of mine, has been for years now, and I met him working at the hobby shop when I used to work there a long time ago. And yeah, he is an awesome guy, man. He's a hardcore RC fanatic. He races. He has his own racing team. They call it Team G Racing. And his whole family gets involved. His son is a phenomenal racer. His daughter is a freaking phenomenal racer. The whole family is really just awesome. And yeah, so shout out to Team G Racing. And they are the ones that hooked me up with this Traxxas Slash, which, as you can see, has a Proline Nissan Titan body on it that I'm going to do up and try to make this look cool so I can go out, maybe get a couple races in out at Cooper's Track out in Sun River, Oregon. That could be pretty fun. This is my Tamiya M01, I believe is what it's called. And it's an old school original. Shout out to my buddy Ed. He's the one that hooked me up with this one in a trade. I forget what we actually traded. But he hooked me up with this one, and I have yet to actually drive it, I'm not going to lie. This thing is awesome. It's vintage, and it still works. So I've just got it kind of sitting here. For those of you that know me, probably have figured it out. This is the same chassis they used to make the first generation Tamiya RX-7. Yeah, that's original mechanical speed controller right there. And so, even though this one's set up front wheel drive, as you can see, the motor's up front, not in the back, I'm going to switch it around. It's interchangeable. I'm going to make it rear wheel drive, because this, like I said, is the same chassis they used for the RX-7. I'm going to get the RX-7 first gen body to match my real RX-7. That's just something I've wanted to do for a long time now, and I probably will do it in the next year or so. Moving on from there, I got something special. No, this is not a Midnight Pumpkin. For those of you that don't know your Tamiyas, I know the body has a similar shape to a Midnight Pumpkin and it's, you know, all that stuff, but it's not. For the old school hardcore RC guys, you will know exactly what this is. This is a Radio Shack Sonic Thunder. I have owned several of these over the years. However, this one is special. This is the one that I owned when I was a little kid. I've had this for longer than I've had almost anything in my life. I lost it. I honestly couldn't find it. I didn't know what happened to it. I thought it was gone. And turns out my little brother is my saving grace. He wound up finding it in the barn out on our ranch, up at my Uncle Keith and my grandparents' ranch out there in John Day. And basically, sorry for the shadow getting in there, I'm going to cross over. He got it dug out of the barn for the kids, because he's got 2 youngsters himself, and they all were playing with this and just kind of reliving my childhood, man. This thing's been through 2 generations already, and now it's back in my hands, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have it. When we found it, it was missing a wheel and a tire. We managed to find those laying around in the yard and parts of the house, I guess. And I got it all put back together, and it's not working at this moment. It needs electronics. I don't have the original radio for it, unfortunately, but I am gonna make this work again. That is a promise. So yeah, that's my original Sonic Thunder from the early 90s, late 80s. I think it's like 91 maybe or something, 92. Don't quote me on that though, I could be wrong. And right here we have one of my more popular trucks. This thing gets tons of attention online when I post pictures of it. This is not a Brute. I mean, I guess it could be considered a Brute, but technically speaking, I built this after something else. This is modeled after the Red Jacket JK8 Independence Jeep pickup truck the firearm company built for a promo vehicle for SEMA. And I know I might not have that all 100% right, but from what I understand, that was the purpose of it. And I built this modeled after that with some of my own personal touches, like the head rack and stuff like that, the swampers and whatever. But the general concept and idea came from the Red Jacket Jeep. If you Google Red Jacket Jeep, you will see the one that I'm talking about. You'll see the similarities. Obviously, it's not an exact replica, but it gets the idea across. It's a real simple truck. Started off with AX10 chassis in order to keep the super crazy articulation and keep it, I don't know, just different than my other trucks and unique, and to still keep some of the AX10 nature to it. I cut the AX10 chassis. And I know a lot of people are like, what? That's not scale, that's not right. Well, this truck wasn't necessarily built to show off my scale building skills. This is more or less built to satisfy a craving I had. I wanted something with like a drop-down link system, kind of like this right here, like you see on a mud truck. And so that's what I did. And it actually works pretty dang good. It's been like this for years now. Oh, sorry, let me film back up there. It's been like this for years now. It works great. It gets tons of articulation. As you can see, it's no slouch when it comes to articulating. And it'll do that in the rear as well. The real reason why I did it was because I plan on putting the dual motor setup in this, but I really don't see a need for that anymore. I'm not a fan of high speed, and then I'll just thrash this body. I like keeping the full fenders on this one as much as possible, and yeah, so there you have it. That is my JK8 Independence, and yeah, it does have a full drop bed and all that stuff. It's got a stereo built into it, and lights and all that cool stuff. I just like it. It's more like a mall crawler, you know? Yeah, mall crawler. That's a perfect description for that. Take it out on the trails once in a while. And moving on, try to speed it up, otherwise we'll be here all day. This is my Axial SEX10 Dingo that has been stretched out and fitted with a New Bright JK body, 4-door Jeep Wrangler Rubicon body. This trailer sitting behind it is usually back behind it because this is the truck I tow it with. It's got suspension. It's really janky, lame suspension, but it works. It's out of some cheapo like 18 scale basher, you know. And yeah, I just was bored one day. It's the bed off of a Comanche, obviously. And I usually tow it around with this. And this thing, the lights up top do work. I know I've never actually got this on video, but here pretty soon I will. I more or less just kind of play with this in the off time, you know, when I'm not running my comp trucks or the main truck of the moment. This truck I just kind of cruise around, have fun with. It doesn't outperform anything. It's not going to get any oohs and ahs. It's just cool looking. It's just something different. It's based off of a real Jeep as well, but then of course it has my touches all over it. This was built off of the J8 mil-spec Jeep. It's also called the Sarge. So there's some immediate, you know, differences. Obviously all the sticker placement and all that stuff and the lights on top and all that aren't how the real one are. And the real one has leaf sprung suspension. This one's got, you know, your standard 4-link. Nothing special. You know, it's just is what it is. And then, yeah, we'll move on from there. It does have lots of lights and cool stuff in it, though. It looks awesome at night. It's got like 18, 20 LEDs, something like that. This guy right here, everybody knows this truck. This is my, well, let's see. It started off as an Axial SCX10 Trail Honcho, and it's just been modded time and time again. It's a beast. It's beat to snot. It really gets the worst of the worst. I mean, anything you can think of bad that can be done to an RC has happened to this. It's Yeah, it's been on fire. It's been submerged. I mean, in the bottom of the river. It's been thrown, not out of anger, but just to prove its strength. It's been stepped on, and just everything short of having a bomb put underneath of it, and just trying to see if it'll survive that. This truck is tough. I don't care who you are, what you got, this thing is just as tough, if not tougher, man. Out of all the things I've built, this one is probably still the most potent. I'm not sure why, but it just wants to go anywhere. It wants to climb anything, and every once in a while, you know, it'll find its weakness. It is very heavy, very, very heavy, so the lighter trucks do have an advantage when it comes to hopping up something with some wheel speed or something like that, but for the slow, torquey crawling, this thing is a beast. It'll shove boulders out of the way, and it weighs somewhere around 13 to 14 pounds, just depending on the setup at the time. Very, very, very heavy truck. Very freaking awesome, detailed truck. And a lot of people said, oh, why don't you rebuild it? Well, I could, especially my buddy Jared. He's always trying to get me to do something with this thing. But it just works, man. It just works. It just gets the job done. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to change it. The more it gets beat up, the more I seem to like it. The more the body breaks and things happen, I like it even more. So that's the Heap, you guys. Lots I could talk about on that. Everything on there is custom built, stretched out. The interior is all customized. I built this seat from hand, made it look all chewed up like a dog chewed on it. Yeah, the guys in there having a good time, beer in hand. You know, her hat's on the dash, my Northwest something Northwest Championship stickers, or I mean license plates from back in 2012. Damage everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. This thing beat. Old stickers, new stickers, glue, metal, just everything. And it works. It's got first places under its belt, plenty of them. It just works. Alright, moving on. This is my little Class 1 trail truck. This is an, what is this? RC4WD TF2. And it is 100% bone stock. There's nothing about this that has been modified other than the body itself. I'm not joking. It is stock. My buddy put it together, and this is how it is. I did do one thing to it just to kind of, you know, make sure that it would last, and that is I put shims in the axles off the recommendation of my buddy Ed, because he has one as well. And he's the one that informed me that if you don't shim the front diff especially, and sometimes even the rear diff, you could have some diff issues. So shim the differentials when you get a TF2, or at least check to make sure you don't need to. And yeah, that's just a custom Nissan body I got and chopped and stretched and made a long bed. Full drop bed setup and all that, and yeah, it's a cool one. I put an interior in it out of a Wraith and some other stuff, kind of chopped it up and made my own thing. That's it. Moving on over here, this is one that I got off of my buddy Andrew Fernandez, aka Drew Dog, and he is my homeboy that builds the trailers. So all those cool trailers you seen on my channel, Drew Dog builds those, and he's the one that got this project kicked off. It is no longer anywhere near how he built it. I changed it all around. As you can see underneath there, it's got an axial chassis. I completely rebuilt it, but this is his original creation. He's the one that started this idea, and it's pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. It's beat up, you know, it definitely came to me beat up, you know, he did some modifying to it and stuff, so the doors don't fit right, things like that. It's fine, I don't really care. It is what it is. It does open up, and the reason that I really wanted this is because it had the basic components that I needed to recreate the build. Sorry for the camera waving all over. It is fully independent. It's got Tamiya independent drivetrain underneath of it out of a that's a TAO2 underneath there. So if you know the Ford Baja F-150 truck, that's the front differential setup, and that's the rear differential setup. Just chopped up, and you can see it's not finished. It's just all murdered right now under there. it was left open, and I'm slowly going through. That's a piece of an axial transmission. I'm going through and slowly piecing it back together, in which case it will get buttoned up, painted, and then yeah, it should look factory after that. And it is getting there. It doesn't work yet, you know. It's got, like, when it came to me, it had broken gear or something up in the front diff that clicks. I'm gonna fix that. I thought it was just, you know, it needed pressed together. I've been reading on the forums about it, but it turns out it's blown. And then, yeah, that's it, man. It's kind of a cool little build. If you want to know how to build one of those, there are write-ups on it out there on how to do this. There's a couple of ways to do it. So you can also just build it off of a CC01, but the truth is these come with independent suspension front and rear, and that is part of why I wanted to do that, just to keep it true to scale, you know. There we go. Alright, so next on the list is this bad boy, which is a Crawler King chassis, Crawler King axles, CKRC front mount servo plate, an old H2 body, and some big old mud tires, and I'm going to make a mega mud truck out of that beast. That should be pretty bitchin'. Of course it's not done now, so it doesn't look like much, but that's what I'm going to do with it. This right here is a hodgepodge of team associated and Traxxas parts that are attached to a custom chassis by my buddy Ed. I did not weld that up. My buddy Ed did, and it's pretty cool, man. This will be a woodland buggy, and as you can see, it's got a long ways to go before it's finished, but it's a cool start. You can definitely get the profile of it. Come over here. You got these two goobers. These are RC. They don't work right now. Well, I take it back. This one works, but it needs a new gear. A little gear right there. Gotta get one of them bad boys slipped in there. Blew a gear out. This one is an old vintage find, and I've been modifying it slowly, trying to make it like an actual scale 3-wheeler. And it does have scale electronics, hobby grade electronics in it now. So I did do some modifying. It's got a 2-speed Delrin transmission, believe it or not, and it friggin' rips, dude. It's really heavy actually too. So that's another awesome one I got going on right now. That's probably not going to get any action though until this winter when I get some more time to start working on it. But definitely love the 3-wheeler and the quad. Let's see, we're almost done, guys. Moving up. I got this thing. This right here is basically just a hodgepodge of Crawler King parts, and yeah, man, it's unique. It's nothing special, you know. It's obviously not gonna win any scale awards. It's not the most scaled vehicle you ever seen in your life, I promise you that. You see, shit's just bolted on there, but this is cool, man. This is something you don't see every day. These are gigantic Mickey Thompsons. I mean, here, in comparison to some massive 2.2s, like the biggest ones you can find out there, the Mickeys are bigger. There you go, there's a better comparison. Look at the back one. These are huge, man. The rims are like 2.8s, I'd assume, or something of that nature. And yeah, it's just a hodgepodge of stuff, man. The body is an old sorry, this is hard to hold up here, so I apologize for not getting the best shots here. This body, there we go. This body is an old Proline Volkswagen bug body from a Traxxas E-Max, and I took it and cut it all up and made it into that. So yeah, there you have it. It's 2 chassis bolted together, 2 trannies, 2 gear reduction units, all that, and it works. It's weird, it's crazy, it works. This is my future build. This is Hercules. I am going to turn this into one of the coolest things on these shelves, if you ask me. This is the one I'm probably most excited about right now. Hercules, I don't have a lot to say because I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't even know if I'm going to use what all sitting right there. But this will be awesome. Just can't wait till that's done. Then we have 666. And I already told you guys plenty about 666 in a previous Camping with Coleman video. This is my show truck. This is my tow pig. This is the one that I use to tow all my trailers around and to show off my build quality. I love this truck. It's got a lot of work into it, a lot of hours. and it's very special to me. And I got RC helicopters, none of which work, more planes, and that's really it. I've got some big monster trucks laying around that don't work and some trailers, and that's about it, guys. Some bodies. I think I might have a body or two back there. Yeah, I got some bodies back there. But that's it. That is, whoop, grab that there. That's it. That's all I got going. I apologize for the shaky camera and the lighting being all crazy and me having a hard time holding this tripod up by one leg with one arm right now. But I just want to show you guys basically what this is all about in here. And I wanted to do it on short notice because I was getting so many comments and stuff and people wondering what happened and what came in the big box, and they want to see the room and they want to see what's this and that. And well, I'm going to show you. Why not? I'm not gonna keep you waiting. I'm gonna show you what I got going on. So if you want to see anything else, let me know. I'm about as see-through as it gets, man. Nothing to hide really here. Yeah, nothing to hide here. Am I hiding? I got any bonds sitting on or anything? Make sure ain't no weed back there. All right, yeah. So anyways, do a second take on that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so anyways, I hope you guys like that. Basically, I just want to show you around, show you, anyways, I hope you guys like that. I just want to show you around, show you what came in that big box, show you what is on my shelves in here and my RC collection, and kill all that with one video. So hopefully you guys like this, and I'm sorry if I carried on or if I was just talking on the camera. I don't have any professional mics or anything like that. I just want to show you what I do and how I do it, and yeah, all that stuff, man. It's see-through brother over here. I don't got nothing to hide, nothing to lie about or any of that, man. I just another RC guy, and I wanted to show you guys that it doesn't take big money and big sponsors and all that, man. My sponsors help me a lot, don't get me wrong, but you can still do a lot of this stuff without sponsors. So if you guys really want, just post up in comments and I'll try to answer what questions you got there. And yeah, thank you. Peace and chicken grease. Holla at your boy.